Hi guys, welcome back to another video on the history of Jingdezhen. Today we'll be going over the two types of porcelain that were created at Jingdezhen and how they were sort of influenced and created by foreign lands. The two types of main porcelain created at Jingdezhen was bluish whiteware and subsequently blue and whiteware. First is the Jingdezhen bluish whiteware, or Qingbai in Chinese. These became in production during the Song dynasty and is often accredited to be the reason for the growth of early Jingdezhen. Such porcelain was transparent and almost jade-like, giving it a bluish-white tint. Intricate carvings would then be made to add decorative elements onto the ware. Northern Ding wares had initially been the dominant porcelain in China during the Northern Song reign. However, as the Northern Song court was forced to flee to the south after they lost control during the Jing-Song Wars of 1120s, the new porcelain center was forced to be moved to Jingdezhen, where Ding ware was surpassed by these Qingbai porcelain and continued to be such in the subsequent centuries. Thus, the growth of Jingdezhen can be partially attributed to the unstable political situation of the time. A Qingbai bottle was one of the first Jingdezhen wares to have reached Europe in the middle of the 14th century. From there was an expansion of Chinese porcelain outside of China into foreign lands. In the Yuan dynasty, the bluish white was developed into shufu ware, porcelain with an opaque white coating. They were made as wares for the Privy Council of China, or Shu Mi Yuan in Chinese. However, most of them were found outside of China, perhaps as diplomatic gifts or also through trade. As the presence of these wares increased in foreign lands, there was a stronger influence of foreign lands on the creation of porcelain as well. This influence resulted in the creation of the blue and white porcelain, or Qinghua in the mid-14th century. Several aspects indicated this influence. First, the blue pigment required to make Qinghua was derived from cobalt oxide that only started being stably imported from Persia from the 14th century, roughly around the time when Qinghua was developed. The cobalt would be ground and mixed with another medium and then applied to the dry porcelain before being fired. And that's how Qinghua was made to have these sort of vibrant colors. Second, many of the wares were not made in taste for Chinese courts, but instead for foreign markets. Many of the creations were round serving plates that were used more in the Middle East rather than in China, where smaller, deep bowls were used more often than these larger plates. Third, the wares for export developed after the Qingbai usually had thicker bodies. This can be assumed to be to prevent any breakage from long-distance transportations to foreign lands. During the first half of the 15th century, the drawings on the porcelain became more and more complex, including landscapes and human figures. Ware produced from periods up to 1683 under Kangxi is known as the transitional porcelain period, as they represented a peak phase in the quality of the drawings and decoration on porcelain. As the designs on these porcelain became more and more elaborate and beautiful, experts from Jingdezhen, which had previously only reached markets in Japan, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East, started to reach further areas such as Europe in the 17th century. One of the first porcelain to arrive in Europe in mass quantities was the crack porcelain created during the Wan Li reign of the Ming Dynasty from 1573 to 1620. Its distinguishing quality is its split of decoration into panels, as shown in this picture. They were usually wide dishes and decorated with patterns from nature, and these sort of designs were unusual for sales in Chinese markets, and so they were obviously for more foreign markets in Europe. While original demand for porcelain came from Chinese markets in the Qingbai era of Jingdezhen, the craft of porcelain spread to foreign lands very quickly, and they quickly became high in demand in these areas. Such demand resulted not only in the expanding of the industry of porcelain at Jingdezhen, as Jingdezhen became one of the first industrial mass-producing towns in the world, but also caused a transformation in the style of porcelain to fit more Western markets so that it would be more appealing for exportation. That is it for today's video on the two main types of Jingdezhen porcelain and the influence of foreign lands on the art. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next video will be covering the fall of porcelain in Jingdezhen. See you guys next time.